Our journey begins. It is day 86, August 25, 2024, and today is just going to be a quick check-in. So today I practiced doing the first 6 narratives, just kind of sitting down in front of the camera, talking them out, and sort of thinking through the storyline and whatnot. And then I waited a bit until everyone was out of the house so I would have quietness, and I ended up doing all 12 narratives, all in an hour and a half session. So I basically laid it out as a story, and then I went back and sort of explained what the metaphorical meanings of that story were. And I guess I'll say a couple things. I feel like if I could just take my imagination and just say, imagination, like 3D print yourself into reality, like that would be perfect, because I feel like my imagination is there. Like I can imagine this like epic stuff, all of this epic movie and all of this, like the perfect way of saying it. But then when it comes to like actually doing it, it gets so complicated and it never comes out in reality. And potentially that's just because when you imagine it, you just imagine like a simplified version of it, and your brain sort of skips over all the parts and you sort of imagine some of the good parts. But then when you do just those good parts, then you have all the other parts that aren't as good, and then when you sum those together, it's not what you actually thought or imagined it could turn out to be. I feel like it's something. I feel like potentially, or I think that it's at least something that someone could understand what I'm trying to say. I don't know that necessarily people would still watch it though, or that they would be engaged or whatnot. But I think it at least somewhat properly expresses what the main ideas are. And that's all that it really needed to be. So I was really happy to do all 12 narratives. That way it's all done, set to go. And so I think if I can edit it really well, then it can become something as like the starter movie, and then I can send out invitations and create like a movie trailer and add some of the editing and whatnot. So that was sort of what I was able to get done today. It's been hard because you just don't know if anything that you're doing is making a difference. But it's like, what else are you supposed to do? All you can do is really try your best. And when you're young, it often feels like you're missing out. You feel like you're at a certain age and you're like, okay, I should have all this stuff done by now. Like I had imagined a younger version of me that by the time I was this age, I would have accomplished all of this stuff. But it's just so much harder sometimes. And it's partially because I've been thinking mostly about how to actually help the world rather than just how to help myself. If I had just been thinking about how to help myself, I probably would be a lot farther along in that realm. And then some people would be like, okay, well then why didn't you just do that then? But that's not the point of life. I feel like in that respect that I'm not going to regret what I'm doing. I guess that's the truth of the matter, is that in the long term, I'm not going to regret what I'm doing right now. It just feels like I potentially could regret what I'm doing right now. Or like that I'm going to regret what I'm, like, yeah, it feels like right now in the moment that I'm behind and blah, blah, blah. But if I were to do anything but what I'm doing now, I'd probably end up regretting it down the line. So anyway, just a quick little check-in, and I'm going to keep at it. But yeah, I'm glad that it's all filmed and set. And I feel like there's a lot more details to go, and we'll just keep working through things. So thank you so much. And if anyone ever watches this, just remember that any effort that you make to make the world better, to think beyond yourself, is worth it. And sometimes I need to hear that myself. But all right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.